Hey, it's the Fish Guy. I'm excited. Today I'm here at Brookdale Westbay in Warwick, Rhode Island, and I'm with the Executive Director, Brian, who I've gotten to know pretty well over the years as we've talked to him about the opportunities to have an aquarium here in his memory care. Maybe you can take us back a couple years to when we first met and think about how we got to where we are today.
Sure. Kurt, remember when you and I first spoke, you introduced having an aquarium in our older former location for more or less a therapeutic purpose for our residents. Since then, we've renovated and built a new community and introduced the fish tank that's behind us, and has been nothing but a success since you introduced this to us. It's not only a eye-appealing feature, but also a great opportunity for family members and residents to stop and look and count the fish and chit-chat and really enjoy it, especially the grandkids and the younger kids.
That's really interesting. And I know you invested a lot in this memory care area. It's completely new space, or I should say it's not new space, but it's been totally renovated. It doesn't feel like you're in a memory care area. I feel like I'm at home. From the smell to the carpeting to the decor, everything is tastefully done. And you were open for maybe a month or two before the aquarium came in. Was there any noticeable difference before aquarium and after the aquarium was installed in the behavior?
Yeah, there has been, Kurt. In the spot behind us, we had a life station, as we refer to it as, a workbench. It was a very good-looking, high-end, expensive workbench, but we noticed some of the residents would bypass it, look at it, point at it, but really would not stop and interact. So then, since then, you and I spoke. We've removed that workbench. We've installed your fish tank, and since then, we've had more residents that have stopped, sit, chit chat. They're interactive. We have, in some cases, we have some residents that may be up at nighttime walking around, that they sit and look, spend a little bit more time, and then seem to be more calm to this current situation. So it's been nothing but a success since we installed it. The residents love it, family members love it, and obviously our little kids from our family members continue to love it. But it's been a great success.
It's fantastic. Fantastic. We always focus on the resident experience, but I think part of that too is also building a location where the family of the loved ones that are here come in and they feel comfortable, right? So you come in, you want to relax, you want to be in a space where you're comfortable spending a few hours with your loved ones that might not be able to leave. In the aquarium, I think helps kind of set that tone. Would you agree? For the family members?
I agree. And as I mentioned earlier, we at times may have a resident that may have a behavioral challenge, maybe get a little agitated at times. And aside from the surroundings that you mentioned about the upgrades with your fish tank, it has made them calm, a soothing effect to them where they are less agitated, a little bit more to a calming effect to the fish. They sit in the chair, and it's a great environment.
Yeah, nice. So the residents obviously benefit from it, also their families. What about your team here, the team that's here every day providing care for the residents? What is the benefit to them having an aquarium in the space?
Yeah, it's a great point that they've utilized it as a mini program or activity area. They've taken a lot of pride in it to the point where when we've had socials or events, they've brought their children in to look at the fish. They take care of it to the point if the fish doesn't look too good, or maybe one of the fish has passed away. They really take a good liking to the fish. It's also very therapeutic to the staff as well. It's a soothing location that in some cases they'll sit down with the residents, and next thing you know, they're engaged along with the residents in watching the fish, and as they swim around and they take advantage of that opportunity.
I like that a lot, where you kind of highlighted the engagement where your team is engaging with the residents through the aquarium. I've seen your team here for the number of visits that I've been here, and it's amazing. I think I just saw one of your team members dancing in the activities room in front of a table of a couple of residents, and you could see the smiles on the residents' faces. So you're seeing things like that, seeing it here with the aquarium. That's very exciting, and obviously a huge benefit to your operation is making sure that your team is energized. And it sounds like the aquarium is helping with that experience as well.
Absolutely. Even on a snowy day, cold day, rainy day, it's the environment that sometimes it changes a difficult day for the staff person or a resident. And the fish tank has really grown as part of the environment here, just like a chair or a light or any other fixtures you may have in the community. It's been a big success.
So when you're doing tours for admission, residents looking for a new place, they need to maybe move out of their home or just from one location to another. How does this support the admission tour or your marketing team? Is it helping them, and does it help with the character of what Brookdale's all about?
Yeah, it definitely does. In one of the situations recently, we had a resident that was in her 90s, and she was coming with her daughter, and unannounced to us that she had fish when she was young. And she introduced it to her home for her kids, so she was immediately drawn to the fish tank. As we started to tour, the daughter, the potential resident, kind of sat here and looked at the fish and was reminiscing. It kind of brought her back to the good old days of when she had fish and her kids. So it's an opportunity for them to kind of think back to the days of when they had some fish tanks. Not as nice or maybe not as glamorous as this, but still it brought them back to those certain days of seeing what kind of fish. And they're very excited to learn about the fish, what kind of fish it is. Is it saltwater? Is it freshwater? The angelfish, etc. So they want to get educated about the fish. So it's been positive.
That's really interesting. And I remember a couple weeks ago I was here, and you had mentioned a gentleman that had come in. It was, I believe it was a Sunday or a Monday. They were here for a couple hours, first time moving into your memory care area, and they were kind of quiet and wandering. And you mentioned their third time walking by the aquarium, they pointed to it and pointed to an angelfish and verbally said angelfish. And being in memory care, to have that kind of alignment is important. And this is somebody that was somewhat nonverbal for the first few hours he was here. Do I have that right? And
yes. This gentleman came here, a little tough condition, and was very quiet, very placid, and we didn't know what to expect. And as he started to walk throughout the community, he stopped a couple of times in front of the fish tank. And one of the last times that we were here, he actually stopped and pointed out, angelfish. And at that point, that was probably maybe the first or second time we ever heard him talk. Now he's very verbal. He's very outgoing. He loves his surroundings. He sits over here and sees the fish tank quite a bit every day on the way to the dining room. So it's another success story that we've kind of gotten in the inner side of a resident that normally was very quiet, very, very reserved. And now he's very outgoing.
that's really awesome to hear. So aquariums obviously take a little bit of an investment to have here and to maintain it. When you look at the investment that you've made in the aquarium here, how would you justify that? How do you obviously when you're building this place out, it was an investment in construction, and as you know, we're all good at really when we have a construction project going on, we tend to run out of money, right? And you found an ability to invest in an aquarium. Can you talk a little bit about why was that so important and how'd you make it happen?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we had that work bench here, and as we did our research and spoke to you folks, and we looked at it as a short-term, long-term investment. The short-term is obviously the immediate expense, but the long-term was if we in return received one or two move-ins because of the fish tank or assisted our fish tank, in return it paid for the cost. The monthly expense of having your team come out and clean it is minor. We budget for that. But it's also an educational opportunity for your staff to come out.
Sure.
The residents love when your staff come out. They chit chat. They ask questions. How much should you feed them? How big? How small? So it ends up to be a program. So it's not just the fish guy coming out to clean the tank. It's actually a paid program.
That's great.
In return. So it benefits it. Anything that is good for the program, good for the community, is going to cost some type of money. But if you start to get move-ins, you have customer satisfaction, you have associate satisfaction and family. It really pays for itself in the long run.
So I appreciate that. That's some really good points. Having an aquarium, one of the things you hear is that they can be a lot of work, and you guys certainly don't need any more chores. We believe in simplicity in aquarium ownership. Talk to me a little bit about the effort that you have to exert, or your team has to exert, to have this.
Yeah, it's very little. What you see now is what our staff does.
Great.
We pretty much sit by the tank and watch the fish swim around. Your guys come out on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, scrub the tank down, check the water contents, feed the fish, set up the fish food for us. If we have any issues, we text your office. In return, your staff are out here immediately, or giving us a call to kind of give us a play-by-play on how to fix a condition or an issue. So it's very little to none when it comes to us doing extra work on the fish tank. It's pretty much a situation where we don't do anything, just enjoy it.
That's great. So I really appreciate you hanging out with us today and the investment that you've made in having an aquarium here. We love to see that the aquarium has a huge benefit to the home that it's in. And I think it's important that those benefits are realized by your residents, and we're certainly seeing that here today. We like to move people in amazing ways, and you've shared definitely several stories where we're seeing that happen with your residents, your staff, and the families of the residents. So thanks so much for that, and I really appreciate all the support that you've given us. And I brought you some more fish as a gift for your time today.
Well, thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Brian.
it. Thank you.